Greetings, welcome to the latest of my Inside Tracks. Today I'm going to explore the luckiest day of year 2025. Why should this be? The two planets in astrology which are intrinsically linked to good fortune is Jupiter, the greater benefit, and Venus, the lesser benefit. But they're merging with one of the most glorious fixed stars in the sky, Sirius, all at 14 degrees in the sign of Cancer. In terms of universal time, it is on the 12th. If you're in the United States, it is just late on the 11th. What makes this so special this year is that this event hasn't happened in this sign for 23 years, since 2002. And Jupiter is exalted in the sign of Cancer, so really feels very comfortable here. If we think about Jupiter's rulership of the sign of Pisces, that's very much to do with spiritual expansion. And Venus, of course, is exalted in Pisces. And guess what? The North Node in Pisces is also forging a beautiful trine to this trio. I'm astrologer Patrick Arundell. I'm going to take you briefly through this. If you are a Cancer and your birthday is from the 1st through to the 7th of July, the resonance of this event can be super positive for you. But it can also be positive for all of us, but in different ways. Please stay with me towards the end. I will go through each of the 12 zodiac signs to share exactly what it will be like for every sign from Aries through to Pisces, which you can relate to in terms of your ascendant, sun or the moon. So what can we expect across the 11th and the 12th? Well, ordinarily, it is arguable that when the Sun and Jupiter combine, that should be the luckiest day of the year. But when Jupiter pitched up in the sign of Cancer this year, it immediately came into a very tense right angle with Saturn, the greater malefic, which peaked on the 15th of June. And if you recall, over the last year or so, there has been 4 exact squares between Jupiter and Saturn. So Saturn didn't really have the easiest time of it for its journey through the sign of Gemini, where it is, of course, in detriment. But as it went into Cancer, it was challenged by Saturn. So we get some rebalancing here, because obviously the Sun's at the heart of our very existence. So Jupiter expands on that. But what we do have is a very positive alliance between these two, which hasn't happened since 2002. Now, Venus influences money, fashion, design, romance and relationships. Jupiter has a more happy-go-lucky vibe for its rulership of Sagittarius, where it is urging us to be bold, adventurous and enterprising. But through that rulership of Pisces, it is much more about how we feel about things. It's the water element, which of course the sign of Cancer has. So what we have as Venus and Jupiter exalted in Cancer come together with Sirius is a very warm cosmic hug. Absolutely lovely. Because of course the reason this is quite rare is that Jupiter only visits each zodiac sign once every 12 or 13 years. So the last time it visited Cancer, it didn't connect with Venus. But that astrological bonus ball is Sirius. And this is an energy which can be very, very fortunate. It can bring blessings, including fame, wealth, and great success. So how will this play out? Cancer, of course, is about the home. It is about the family, nurture. And the combination of Venus, Jupiter, and Sirius brings a fabulous opportunity for a get-together with those we care most for. If we have warm-hearted exchanges, they're likely, or gatherings and reunions, they're likely to be just that extra special. But most of us will feel bubblier across these days, I feel, and perhaps even more affectionate with the Cancerian energy. If you are about to have a baby and the baby does emerge this week, early this week, I think that's wonderful timing. If your birthday is in the early part of this week, what a lovely solar return you're going to have with these two connected, just tucked up behind your sun in Leo. But if you are finding someone very, very alluring, this is a perfect time to have a first date. But it's also a great time to think about the way we stylize our homes. Now that could be through redecoration, through some new furnishings. Some people may actually have a successful bid on a property or a rental accepted, which brings great joy. Now for other people, maybe the way this will work, because Jupiter encourages the space dimension, it may be by decluttering in some ways. If you're part of a syndicate, especially with your family, you could have some genuine serendipity, which is lovely. So the potential for luck and fortune is heightened today for sure. And also it's a great opportunity to enjoy good food and wine. But I have to say, if you have been on a strict diet, you're going to be severely tested this week, because this is going to put temptation in your way. But if you do connect with someone, whether it's in a friendship, professional or romantic dimension, the chances are it will always bring some kind of warmth or a sense of uplift to your situation, and it really could be fated because of the position of the North Node in Pisces. Now I'm just briefly going to share with you the event chart. So on the screen now you can see there's Venus, Jupiter and Sirius all together in the 11th house. The ascendant is just late in the sign of Leo. But intriguingly, we also have the moon, which is the ruler of the sign of Cancer, in the sign of Pisces. So the water energies of this day are very, very much encouraged, but the North Node is what I think is so important. So if we do encounter some good fortune financially today, with the node and the moon being in the 8th house, which can be to do with shared resources, maybe things like tax rebates, payouts on insurance premiums, finding out we're actually going to get some money that's been owed to us paid out at long last, that will certainly bring a smile to our faces. I'm astrologer Patrick Arundell. Thank you so much for joining me. If you are new to our channel, please help it to thrive and click that sub button, but also the bell notification symbol. If you'd like to work with me one-to-one, please check out my testimonials below. It is a really important part of what I do. It's very humbling, and it's something that I'm here to support people with. So even if you're not quite ready for a reading now, if you read those testimonials, you can discover a bit more about how I work. Please check out my website. It's developing all the time, patrickarundell.com. Download your free natal chart and a stunning interpretation. Also use the free 3-card tarot as much as you would like. And also you can sign up for your free daily horoscope fired to your device each morning, every single day. Now please stay with me as I give you a brief taster of what we can expect for each zodiac sign. So for Aries, you may find yourself feeling somewhat sentimental. This could see you wanting to spend time with people that you're especially comfortable with. It doesn't have to be family members, it could be your extended family. If you have got an opportunity to take some time off or get out in nature, particularly near to water, I feel that can be fulfilling. Now for you, Taurus, Venus is your ruler. And when you express yourself, one of the things that's very special about Taurus people is your voice, because your larynx is very much ruled by Venus. That gives you a particular way of saying things that can prove to be irresistible. And that self-expression this week can be even more enhanced. So if you are chatting to someone and someone you like, you'll need to make sure that you're aware they could be completely smitten by the way you say what you do. Now Gemini, you're known as being a very buzzy, quick-witted sign, but you know, you may surprise yourself today and want to totally immerse yourself in some all-out luxury, and that could be by splashing out on a treat. If money is a little bit more constrained, maybe you can make a cake, maybe you can have a lovely glass of wine. But the most thing you need to do today is actually do indulge yourself. And you know, of all the zodiac signs, you're the one that could have a sensational piece of financial news. Even if it doesn't land exactly today, it can still occur, so keep the faith. Now, Cancer, particularly if you're born on the 1st through to the 7th of July, this is a magnificent event for you. For all Cancer people, this is going to help you to feel more alluring, attractive and adorable. We can all do with a slice of that. And you can use the energy, therefore, to have the confidence to give yourself some kind of dynamic makeover, which really can give you quite a boost in terms of your personal confidence. There may be more than one admirer that's showing an interest in you too. Now, Leo, an old flame could come to mind, but will it have changed if you're thinking of reconnecting? But then again, you just may feel very, very nostalgic. And if you are reminiscing, you may find yourself looking through some old family pictures and heirlooms, and why not? The sun, of course, continues to be in your sign. Mercury has just come out of that retrograde, and it is an opportunity to move forwards. But I feel there has been some sensitive issues that you've been processing. Don't push them to one side. If you need to revisit them, even feel a little melancholy, why not? In a relationship that's not working very well, you may really need to be realistic about why that is. Now, Virgo, you have had the sun and your ruler, particularly through its retrograde, going through a very delicate part of your chart, particularly for trust. But the great news is that over this next few days, I feel the people who are totally in your corner are really going to reassure you about their commitment and affection for you. And with the people who are definitely your very solid citizens in your life, those are the people you can enjoy a very pleasurable social event. Now, Libra, for you, your public profile, which is the energy of Cancer, is very, very skillful, is part of your nature, which you can very skillfully develop because of your natural ability to shape perceptions through careful communication. But you could have quite the impact this week. It could be through a meeting, a presentation. You may hear some news around a contractual issue that you've been waiting for, and it could be very important. If you do meet someone for the first time, you can make a great impression, especially if they're influential. Now, Scorpio, if you're traveling or want to travel, this is a great opportunity to engage in that. Or if you have an appreciation of arts and culture, those are areas that can be great fun too. Now, if you do have a connection with someone romantically, it may be someone from a completely different, more mysterious or exotic background that really starts to make your pulse race. But I honestly think this is a very, very positive day for you because of the water triplicity that comes from your sign to the North Node, back to the three musketeers in the sky in the sign of Cancer. Now, Sagittarius, if you're involved and it's going well, this is going to be a day when it can get very hot, passionate and intense, and you can enjoy every single second of that. You could also hear good news in terms of a partner's financial affairs. They may get some information about a payout or a windfall or a contractual or business matter, which really can be very good news for you both. If you are someone who wants to develop a business idea you've got, this is a great chance to put your foot to the proverbial floor. Now, Capricorn, for you, if you have been experiencing some challenges around relationships, particularly with your ruler Saturn in a retrograde, in a very tender part of your scope, alongside the potentially draining Neptune, and having afflicted Jupiter as he moved into your sector of relating, things may not have been that easy. But if ever there was an opportunity to try to celebrate what you have in common rather than what makes you different, this event is it. If you meet someone for the first time, this could be a very, very important connection. and it may always, however it ends up, have a sense of harmony around it, which could be joyful. Now, Aquarius, for you, we know Venus is about relating, and Jupiter can be about fortune. It's your ability to relate to people at work that could come up today, and particularly for someone who goes that extra mile to support others. I think that could be really appreciated by people in a personal context. Small practical deeds like making someone a cup of tea, doing a little bit of the domestic chores, that can really help a relationship to glow up too. But if you have been waiting for a job application news, the news could be very positive. And finally, Pisces, you're never last because you are least important, simply because you're the last player in the zodiac. Jupiter is your traditional ruler, and apart from being in the sign of Pisces, for you personally, Jupiter in Cancer is the second best position for him to be. That wouldn't be so for fire signs, with Jupiter being the ruler of Sagittarius, but for you, that Cancerian energy is lovely. It really helps you to showcase your talents, creativity and flair. And really, you're being asked to be much more playful, upbeat, perhaps even a little flirty if there is someone you fancy. Do you know, things will never change in our lives if we always sit on our hands. So if you are drawn to someone, of course there's no guarantee they will be receptive to that, but if you don't try, you won't know. And today, Kismet really can bless you. So if you like someone, or you want to do something a little bit more different with your talents and artistry, push outside your comfort zone. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been a pleasure sharing this inside track on the luckiest day of the year. That's Jupiter, Venus and Sirius in the sign of Cancer at 14 degrees. Just to say, if you are someone between 12 degrees and 16 degrees of any of the cardinal signs, you're going to feel this energy quite acutely, particularly those Capricorns and Cancers. But it can be a very positive day for us all. Take care and all the best.